Welcome to Culture Over Coffee, a podcast focused on improving company culture and fostering employee engagement. Every week, we chat with experts and thought leaders about the latest proven practices to reduce regrettable turnover, increase productivity, and retain key customers. So pour a cup of your favorite brew and join us. I'm your host, Beth Sunshine, SVP at Up Your Culture. Ignoring people problems doesn't make them go away. It just adds interest. In this quick Culture Snapshot episode, we're exploring the concept of culture debt, the buildup that happens when leaders postpone tough conversations or overlook toxic behaviors. Drawing from real-world insights, we'll unpack the hidden costs of disengagement, turnover, and lost trust. Plus, we'll share practical ways to start paying it down by addressing issues early and investing consistently in your people before the debt comes due. Today, I want to talk about something I call culture debt. You've probably heard of financial debt or even technical debt, those shortcuts that we take that save time now, but they cost us later. Well, the same thing happens with people. Every time we ignore a people problem or we avoid a tough conversation, we take on a little more culture debt. And just like any other kind of debt, it does compound over time. So here's what it looks like in real life. If you're a manager or a leader, you've got someone who's consistently negative, but you don't address it because they're really good at their job. Or there's a tension between two teams, but you tell yourself, it'll work itself out. These are adults. They'll figure it out. Or maybe you notice there's some burnout creeping in, but everyone's really busy, so you push through. At that time, it feels easier just to keep moving. And you probably really are so busy, it's hard to manage all of those things. But what you're really doing when you push through is adding another balance to your culture credit card. And sooner or later, that bill does come due. Culture debt doesn't always show up dramatically. It builds quietly, and it shows up later as employee turnover or, people feeling disengaged. It shows up as low trust or just that sense of, ugh, people can't quite name. I've heard the term Sunday scaries. It certainly shows up like that. And by the time you notice it, the fix ends up costing you way more than the original issue ever did. Now there's good news, and that is you can pay that debt down, and you don't even need a massive initiative to do it. You just need consistency, and you need some courage. So here's the shift. Instead of saying, we'll deal with that later, start saying things like, let's deal with that now while it's still small. When you see a conflict, name that conflict. When someone feels unseen, acknowledge that they feel unseen. Or when something feels off, talk about it before it grows into something bigger that you really have to deal with in a more painful way. It might feel uncomfortable in the moment, but that's actually the cheapest time to fix it. Think of the best leaders you've worked for. They don't let resentment or confusion pile up. They address things early with empathy and clarity. And because they do, their people trust them. They don't have to walk on eggshells. They know where they stand. And that, in my mind, is the payoff. When you stay current on your culture debt, you build equity and trust and clarity and engagement. So here's your culture challenge for the week. Take a moment, look around, ask yourself, where might you have a little culture debt building up? Maybe it's a conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's a promise you haven't followed through on. Pick one thing and address it this week, because the cost of avoidance is always higher than the price of honesty. And the earlier you act, the richer your culture becomes. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. See you next time. Thanks so much for spending time with us on Culture Over Coffee. If you enjoyed the conversation, be sure to subscribe and join us for every episode. For more helpful information about company culture and employee engagement, visit us at upyourculture.com.